Yo, what up? Woke up this morning wanting to do a freestyle flow on Flowism. And I think we can start wherever my emoji is. My favorite image of flow or Flowism is surfing. And I think that's like a good metaphor for being able to flow or going with the flow or moving effortlessly because with surfing, in the beginning it's very hard. You can't even stand up on your board, then you ride small waves, then you ride bigger waves, and then if you become an expert, you ride huge waves. And I think that is kind of a good metaphor for the time and energy and progress required if you want to like flow in life. The with surfing, it's a very specific set of skills you need to get better and better. But with life, you there's so many different skills you need to get better and better, and then to get better and better to where things become effortless, to where you're flowing. And the issue is, and I grabbed a bunch of books to kind of talk about flow, and I guess this is before I pull out the Tao Te Ching. The issue is with life, if you want to like master flow, master being in flow, moving effortlessly, the the skills required are going to be different. They're different for everybody. And I think this is where, I guess before I get into the books, I'll just say my take on Flowism. I'm looking at it like as a philosophy, but a very practical philosophy, a philosophy focused on mastering the art of being in the flow, living life effortlessly. You know, that's it on the on a kind of philosophical practical level. And then the philosophy is like, what kind of things do you need to do to make that happen? What kind of thoughts do you need to have? And I'm putting it together in real time right now. There's no such thing as Flowism. You'll If you Google it or throw it in YouTube, you'll find some people. You'll find some content here and there, maybe some blog posts. But there's not a cohesive Flowism system, and that's what I'm actively working on. And I want to make Flowism a philosophy that is fluid. Bruce Lee said, you put water in a pot, it becomes a pot. You put in a teacup, it becomes a teacup. It can flow and it can crash. But talking about the formless nature of Flowism, of water, Flowism, what I end up developing and my principles and philosophies and my systems and what I do every day to master the ability to flow and move effortlessly is going to be different for you and different for the next person and different for the next person. We're going to find principles that likely overlap, but then it needs to get built out on top of that. And then with Flowism, you can pull in your whatever spiritual tradition you may have, right? This is Flowism will be, I guess, agnostic. Is that the word in that regard? So you can, if you're atheist, you boom Flowism. If you're Buddhist, boom Flowism. If you're Christian, boom Flowism. If you're Muslim, boom Flowism. If you're I was gonna say, what is it? I guess Jewish. I was gonna say Judaism. Boom, Flowism. And the other thing is Flowism. You pick and grab what you need from different philosophies and different systems. Uh, what works for you, and I guess on that note, so yeah, I do want to put together. I want to make a cohesive philosophy with clear principles, clear practices, and a clear system. But again, I also want it to be open source. So whatever book I write, whatever systems I put together, whatever rituals or anything. I want to make this thing where it's out there, it's online. People might practice it, the way I do it, but then someone can take it and remix it, right? That's what water does. Water's everywhere. Water nurtures everything. Water's for everyone. And I had this book on the bottom, but I guess I'll bring it up to the top, and I'll put a link to all these books because they're all good books. But I grabbed them more as a representation because I haven't actually read this book. And what's cool, so this is Tribe of Mentors from Timothy Ferriss. So what's cool about this book and kind of how I'm seeing the way Flowism would work. Like I would look at this book as Flowism, in that with Flowism, I eventually want to create. Um, Maybe it won't be a book. Maybe it'll be an AI you get to interact with, but it'll probably be a book as well. I like books, but this book is basically here. Let's go to page 108, freestyle flowing, and see what nugget of insight we have. Who are we talking to? We're talking to. Oh, here. This is Lewis Cantley, and the quote from him is, "We may be approaching a time when sugar is responsible for more early deaths in America than cigarette smoking," which is fun because I just cut sugar out. Like I'm not doing any sugar. I'm doing the one meal a day diet. So that was on page 107, but 108 brought me there. But what I like with this book is just little like pieces of knowledge from a lot of different successful people, but successful in different domains, different kinds of success. And I bring this up in connection to Flowism, the Flowism that I want to construct, in that I want to have a way for people to have to share their recipes for whatever it might be, whether it's losing weight, whether it's meditation, whether it's writing, whatever it is, recipes. And these recipes, like in my mind, are more like daily, like kind of recipes that you would use. To quit drinking, to quit smoking, to quit eating sugar, but having different recipes that you can use to, enhance your flow, make your flow better. But again, everybody's going to need a different set of. My mom, I was telling her recipes, she liked tools better. Everybody's going to need different tools. Everyone's going to need a different recipe to get to where you're mastering living in the moment. And I can kind of stop there, but I'll go ahead and grab these books real quick because these are like kind of the main things that influenced my version of Flowism. Right away, we got to start with the Tao Te Ching. This is not the translation that got me started. The translation that got me started wasn't actually a translation; it's an interpretation by Stephen Mitchell, I think. But this is the one I'm working with now. But the Tao Te Ching, it's real. I got the first line of the Tao Te Ching on my arm. It's real important to me. We won't get into what that's all about. This actually, I just wanted to grab this. If you can get your hands on this book, like sometimes it's in print, sometimes it's not, but it's a very cool, like fun introduction to Taoism and Taoist thought in cartoon form. It seems like it's for kids, but it's not. Like it's deep. And then here we go. We have my Tai Chi teacher, Grandmaster Wong. There he is on the back throwing somebody around. So he dropped this book, Searching for Center, which I actually haven't read yet, but I got a lot of my Taoism from him. Like my best Tai Chi skills I got from him. Oh, dude, look at like Master Wong was like the man when he was young. Hold on, I gotta show you guys this. Like I don't know. I would, yeah, like he could. I'm sure he's like holding that and just standing on one hand. Like he was like a high level gymnast. He taught martial arts in the military. He was like the dude. He was like first in the competitive push hands tournaments several years in a row. Back when it was like a big hardcore thing. It's still pretty hardcore now. I guess I'm bringing this up just to throw a little of Master Casey's Tai Chi knowledge. But a lot of times people think Tai Chi is this soft art, and it absolutely is. But then you'll get people who are overly focused on the soft, and you really want a foundation in hard, hard and soft. You want a foundation in hard stuff before you refine the softness, because without that your softness is going to be it's not going to be good. It's going to be weak. I see it time and time again. Now, I grabbed this book not so much for the contents of the book, although they're good, and I like this guy. He's the founder of Dharma Drum. I don't think he actually wrote any books. I think these are all talks that were transcribed. All of his books are. But I just wanted to throw enlightenment there. Enlightenment, I've been not so much lately. Like, I guess my view on enlightenment has changed. My understanding of what's required is changed. My understanding of what it is and what it isn't has changed over